Welcome to episode 41. I am your host, Fritz, joined as always by co-host Mandaddy.
Hi.
Angela.
Hello.
And Kaz.
Hello.
So we're in the Florida room right here off the side of the house, off the side of the fort. Very spacious. You could probably, what's it called with the
grill
racket?
a pig out here.
Racquetball?
Racquetball.
over
Yeah.
there.
Badminton, maybe?
Badminton or cricket.
Ultimate frisbee.
Cricket, Jesus, that would be
You get a
awesome.
little cricket
The
going.
most
Yeah.
confusing sport to Americans. Are they trying to knock those things down? Are they trying to not knock the things down? It's going at people not wearing helmets, and it's not going at people wearing helmets. It doesn't make any sense.
This whole thing is it's colonialism, is what it is.
You
And then
could-
biscuits or cookies and crackers none of it makes sense.
You
Exactly.
could probably also do highlight in here. Like the ceiling looks like
It seems like highlight and Florida room goes together. Like
Right.
this is where you would play highlight,
Or at least practice.
Lion eye,
Yeah,
Florida,
maybe
highlight on the
practice.
lion eye,
lionize the highlight.
Have they put low top?
Highlight on the
the
lanai.
lion eye.
Oh,
Highlight-
lanai,
Lanai.
right.
Lanai.
Well, this is
Yeah.
the lanai. Yes. So,
Yes, I
I'm
guess
sorry.
you're going to be fancy as a lanai.
Lanai.
Yeah.
Ooh.
All right, the lanai sounds fancier. Anyway,
Well, mint julep. Mm.
you just kind of lay out though. You laying out, you feel it.
It's super comfortable.
Nice and
it's
breezy
just
out
like
here.
a kind of a faux grass or whatever down here, and
You're kind of getting like 50% of the air conditioning because it's kind of connected to your house, but
Yeah.
not really.
there's a fan blowing air around
Yeah.
and stuff. I mean, there's bugs, but there's not, there's not
It's
a lot
Florida.
of bugs.
There's just a lot of bugs.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh,
What's you okay, everybody?
Ooh, that's a big palmetto bug.
You have a lot
Oh, God,
of
is
bugs
this
on you
like-
right now.
Are they all over me?
Yes.
Yeah,
I feel
stop.
them all over me.
There's like at
Make
least
them
5.
stop being
For
all
once,
over
there's
me.
actually bugs on you.
Get
For
them
once,
off
yes,
of me.
there are bugs.
Stop
okay,
dropping
okay,
roll.
okay, go.
Stop dropping
Oh,
roll.
there's more bugs on the
They're
ground.
so big.
Oh, damn, he's
They're
rolling
so
in bugs.
big.
That's not good. That's not
Get
good.
them.
Get up.
Hose me down or something. Somebody hose me down.
All right,
Or
I got
grease
it.
me down.
You
just
got
gotta
it.
flick
I
'em
got
off.
it. There you go.
What
There
is
you
this?
go.
Is this natty? Stop.
Cleansing beer.
Are you
Cleansing
just
beer.
like
I'm gonna be
spraying
sticky.
natty on him?
You just
Yeah, I got an extra
energize
keg.
them.
Oh, look at that! Now
They're gonna eat
them.
this. Oh my
they're
God,
all-
they're
Now
going
they're-
crazy.
That didn't
Marty.
help him at all.
Oh, that's
They've
awesome.
stopped
That
biting
made
me
it
though. It just
worse.
feels
Now
like
they're really drunk.
I'm
and,
crawling in bugs. Where did this come from? Where are you guys? We have to track the source. That we're going to enjoy the lanai. We need a bug-free environment, right?
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
what makes it a Florida room to a lanai. Right now, with all the bugs, it's a Florida
It's a
room.
Florida.
Get rid of the bugs.
This room is
lanai.
Florida as fuck right now, right?
Yeah.
We need to
Yeah.
de-Florida this room.
I've got some gasoline. Just show me. Oh, look at him. Yep.
Follow the trail.
No, yeah, there's a trail right there.
Oh, look at that.
All right.
Yeah.
So
They're
this
more
is where they're
organized
coming
than we
from.
are.
All right, let's see what we're dealing with here. What is this shit? Jesus Christ, put him down. Don't touch him. Get him off me!
Wait,
Wow, these bugs love him.
Why did you get so
Spray me down with
antsy?
natty again.
Here you go. There you go. Whoa,
here's
what the heck is that
all
about?
the
Wipe,
natty.
wipe them off. Elbow them off of me.
Hey, he's just going completely
Elbow
WD.
me until all of the
WD
ants
on these bugs.
fall
It's
from my
amazing.
body.
Yes.
He is literally using the people's elbow on palmetto bugs right now. It is impressive.
This is the most effective ant removal technique that we've
I can
seen
literally
so far.
smell
though.
what the Fritz is cooking right now.
Wow.
And it's bugs. Eat
That
some
was the
bugs.
last of them.
You have a lot of dead ant carcasses.
That was
on you.
he just
It's
destroyed. That was
gross.
a
was
genocide.
impressively disgusting.
That was an absolute massacre. Thank you. Holy
I was
shit!
like Brett Hitman Jr., the second best there is, the second best there was, the second best there ever will be. Yeah.
Son of the best.
Yes, you were.
Put him in the not the
Yes.
sharpshooter, the pretty good, the good aim, the decent aim. This is clearly one of those. Do you guys know about those zombie funguses that take over ants?
What?
Ophelio Cordyceps unilateralis.
Just rolls off the tongue, doesn't
Wait,
it?
is that from Hamlet?
It
It's the
sound-
fungus that drowns itself in
Forgive me if
in
I'm
an
wrong.
ant brain.
That's the last track off Lateralis by Tool.
It
Correct?
is.
Correct. It's just the one that just sounds like aliens going down an elevator shaft, and then like tribal drums, and then
With the Art Bell sample.
no. This is actually a lot less funny than Tool. This is like a very serious thing that is actually pretty widespread. There's several different genuses of this kind of invasive parasitic fungus, or in some of these cases that I'm going to go into, just parasites in general that sort of take over the host of the, from what I've been reading, insects, but I'm sure it spreads beyond this. And the stories that I read were just like mind-boggling. So I'm gonna share a couple of those with you guys.
Sure.
So the one that I was talking about, Ophelio Cordyceps unilateralis, is the one that most people know about, the zombie ant fungus, and it basically infects the brain and body of a carpenter ant
How?
by infecting it with a spore. The spore makes its way into I don't even know if it has blood, the internal mechanisms of an ant, and grows, essentially uses the ant's nutrients to multiply itself and grow into what they found out to be like cords, essentially, that kind of like flow through the muscle, the ligature of the ant.
So it's just like parasitic virus.
Correct. So again, going back to last episode, we
and
also
it's a spore, so anyone can breathe it in.
Right.
Oh,
Sweet.
Gross.
So it primarily affects the carpenter ant, but it's very similar to the Last of Us virus, right? That forcing someone to kind of adopt the behavior of whatever this organism is, right? So previously, before David Hughes got really into studying this fungus, it was thought that it takes over the brain of the ant and sort of takes over it completely. And the behavior that infected ants exhibit is that they will climb to a specific height on the jungle floor. It's 25 centimeters. They find them within millimeters of this exact same height under certain kinds of leaves that foster this fungal growth. And the ant will walk up, clamp its jaws perfectly so that the head is sitting at 25 degrees or 25 centimeters above the jungle floor. And the spore column, I guess, will slowly consume the ant and grow out of that. Ideally, they try to line it up so that they are above the ant colony, so the spores rain down and
brutal
and collect other zombies, essentially, to continue the life cycle.
Oh, it's so disturbing.
So scary.
When these ants are affected, do they present with syphilitic, erratic motions?
So they have seen them. They are able to continue to function for the most part around the colony, but they do eventually, when it's time for the mature fungus to, I guess, expose itself and become the spore, the ant will just peel off from the group, walk up its stalk, and permanently, it says there's something locked where it clamps the jaws onto the stem of this leaf, and then becomes essentially a feeding capsule for this fungus as it grows and distributes another spore to infect a future generation of ants.
So he makes it to work for a few weeks. He
Right.
still goes to work for a few weeks. Everybody's like,
As it's
everybody
going through,
notice
it's
something's
like,
really weird?
Like,
Left arm's feeling weird. I don't know, man.
Bill's
Shit.
fine. He's fine.
Which Bill?
Bill.
Everyone's Bill and
A
Bob.
lot of ants are named
Yeah.
Bill. A lot of people don't know that. The majority of ants are actually named Bill.
Bill, are you okay? Yeah, I just think a whole bunch of cocaine and some whores would really set me straight right now.
Bill,
oh
what-
my God, you've never talked like this before. And he just looks at me and goes, I'll be right back.
He just climbs up the wall.
So David Hughes is somebody who has spent a lot of time studying this, and recently they did a pretty exhaustive experiment on an ant where they julienned infected ants into slices that were 50 nanometers thick,
Okay, so that's
thousandths the width of a human hair.
Yeah, Julian cut is
Correct.
is a type of cooking technique.
Bisectional or disectional, whatever.
just-
It's
it just kinda
very
has-
thinly made a million slices of this tiny little ant.
Right. But if you have a cucumber that's that big, you will cut it at an angle that makes it dissectional cut.
Right, more surface area,
Yeah.
right? So he had a student help him, Meridel Fredrickson, and she took the images, scanned each of them, and compiled essentially a three-dimensional model where they were able to correctly identify what was fungus and what was ant in this infected ant.
He's more fungus than ant, I tell you.
Right,
Just
so
with different DNA cultures?
no, so they had to visually go in. They had, it was a stain basically. So they went in and visually verified this is fungus, this is ant. And after taking 3 months on a single slide, they had to consult a engineer, Danny Chen, who developed an artificial intelligence program that was able to determine ant from fungus in these images. So they were able to speed up the process a little bit. But when what they found out was that the ant is actually not being taken over completely. That the fungus specifically stops at the sort of motor cortex part of the ant brain, and that the remaining part, I guess, what you would consider the ant's consciousness, or the
So he's aware it's happening?
right. So
It's a nightmare.
Oh my God, that's
even
terrible.
worse.
the control of the ant body they think is done through a mixture of interaction with the actual motor part of the brain, and also they found that it's essentially just using it like a puppet. It's moving the arms and legs from within by constricting and pulling certain muscles. The fungus is.
Oh, that's so
crazy.
disturbing.
But that's not unlike what I was talking about. What was it? The blue emerald cockroach wasp?
Yeah, that stabbed the antenna in, drove the antenna around that
Right.
guy?
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's a John Deere tractor.
Except inside. He's doing it from the inside.
So then they were trying to understand how they got the ant to essentially exhibit this behavior that puts it in position to continue to create the spore, and they found that a certain chemical is being released is something that they're kind of just now starting to study, but it's not a physical connection with the ant part of the brain. It's a chemical. It's releasing this chemical that is influencing the ant to do these things, in addition to, to excrete certain scents and continue to behave as part of the colony, etc. So
it's like a weird hybrid of like mental and physical, like brainwashing a little bit.
Right.
Just kind of like
then just
reprogramming some things, but not all the things to do something.
And then just sprinkle in PCP and presto bingo.
Yeah.
You got yourself a zombie ant. So as horrifying as that is, that was not the most horrifying version of the parasitic sort of zombie effect that
gets
insects
worse?
have. It gets way worse. This isn't
Way
even the
worse.
worst one. This one revolves around the European paper wasp, and it is the Polistis dominalis and Xenos vesparum. P. dominalis is the European paper wasp. It basically lives a normal wasp life. It's a piece of
Doing
shit.
wasp
Us
stuff.
being a dick.
It's a piece of shit its whole life, and you hate
Wasps
it.
are awful.
They're terrible.
They're terrible, angry beasts.
But they similar to other insects. They have they fall into castes, right? There's the queen and there's the worker and there's like drones. Exactly. So the worker wasp is the one that's particularly susceptible to the larva of the X vesparum fly, which
It's a fly taking down a wasp. That's fucking rogue as shit.
like it.
it's
I like
the larva form of this fly leaps onto the wasp, burrows into its abdomen where it will feed on the host blood. According to this article, I'm quoting by Brandon Kim.
Kumbaya.
How do you spell it?
Keim.
Keem.
I'm quoting from his article. In the coming weeks, the larva grows stronger and stronger, but the wasp grows slowly, smaller than its peers with smaller wings. Becomes withdrawn. Other workers continue to forage, care for larval siblings, maintain the hive, and
Once again, he shows up to work but doesn't do the job right.
Right, you can tell something's wrong, like with this wasp, with this bill. So they lose any kind of interest in doing any of the social, like, caste work of the wasps. They start to just act essentially for themselves. They go out and eat and they hang out and they just chill. They lose any specific social behavior.
It's almost making it autonomous.
Right. When the queen wasps leave the nest to go for a... What is it? There's a certain...
They go for a spa day.
They go... it's like it's the queen wasp spa day. They go feed. The infected wasps will also go, even though they're not queens, and they will essentially treat themselves like queens. They will fatten up.
Hell yeah, why not? They're like, really, all I gotta do is just fly with this?
I just want to get a pedicure. It's fine.
Yeah.
Well, it's to feed the like parasitic larva within them. This is like essentially taken over them and force them to do this. So the both the male and the female infected wasps will converge in a certain area, and the parasites will pop out and expose themselves long enough to reproduce between the wasps, and then usually the male one dies, leaving the male wasp to die. The female wasp will then go and be the fake queen with the other queens. Or she's a real queen, all right, fine, but she's a parasite queen.
She identifies as a queen.
So she will assume roles, right?
So she goes with the other queens, fattens herself up to appear to be a queen, and then goes to... She doesn't have any way to actually distribute wasp eggs, but she is able to distribute the parasitic larva that infects these wasps. So she goes into hives, masquerading as the queen, essentially, dropping these parasitic larvae that infect future wasps in hives. Or she'll... they said some of them don't necessarily do that. They'll just go out and drop them around like little time bombs, essentially, around like certain leaves that the wasps like to frequent for food.
Jeez.
Damn.
Some trifling shit.
Right? So yeah, in addition to that, there's a host of other like horrifying. There's a caterpillar in the Himalayas that, when it's infected with this fungus, plants itself. It basically sticks its head into the ground and does nothing and waits to die. And then the fungus consumes the dead caterpillar and turns it into a stalk that becomes a spore that then spreads to other caterpillars to infect them, to cause them to just plant their heads in the ground and die, to become food for this fungus.
Are all of these fungus, are they of the same classification, the same family?
They seem to have a similar, like, whatever, phylum description, genus description, but they do branch off. There is, like, some of the funguses are fungus, and then others are essentially like chemicals that are released by parasites that cause certain behaviors or behavior changes in the host body.
So all of these individual fungi evolved with different environmental factors in mind.
Correct.
Some had to get up high, and then obviously in the wasp, it had to be more parasitic.
Correct. I read one about a brand of parasite that lives in a certain snail that gets consumed by a type of bird, which distributes the larva back into the sort of freshwater area around the bay, which fish end up getting infected with their gills or something like that. But basically, this thing coats the fish's brain in itself. It reproduces and covers its brain. And fish that are infected with this are 30 times more likely to be caught by fish, eaten by fish, to continue the life cycle of this parasite, because it causes it to break away from the flock or flash itself up near the surface or leap from the water.
Stool. Not flock.
The flock. I was thinking...
I'm like, I'm not even in the water right now, or am I in the air? Because all of a sudden I'm both.
Fish flock.
So the
Like a big old flock of fish.
so these fish would kind of sacrifice themselves
Correct.
for this parasite.
Right. They would seek out warmer water closer to like shallower areas where there would be birds to consume them and continue the life cycle of this parasite.
How long until this evolves to human? How long until they figure out how to take one of us?
Weeks.
Yeah.
Because it's like a bad guy who just kind of sees some patterns and like kind of figures some things out and it's like,
Right.
oh, these animals do this, so I'm gonna like trick it and do this.
So should we follow this ant colony?
We got to stop whatever's in there. We got to make sure that this thing doesn't make it out of the fort, make it out of at least the lanai.
They are kind of covered in what? They are covered in like some kind of powder. What is this?
It's fungus. Don't
No,
eat
no,
the
no,
fungus.
no, no, no,
Oh,
no,
don't
no,
read
no,
that,
no,
man.
no, no.
Calm down.
Already got it near his face and shit. Like,
Oh my god! Yeah, okay.
what did it smell like?
I didn't smell it.
Okay,
What does
good.
it smell like?
Okay.
I'm gonna wipe it on my jeans.
That's not a good idea.
That's okay.
But it's better than smelling it, I guess.
Oh, stop!
so-
Come on! You're kicking it up now.
now
At least he
You're
has
kicking it up,
jeans
dude.
on this time, right?
Like the pollen has at least that.
I'm
It's the
fine.
little
I'm fine.
things.
I'm okay.
Take it
All
easy.
Like
right.
the pollen wasn't bad enough. Great.
All right, let's go check out this fungus factory
All right.
over here.
So if I'm not mistaken, this ant trail kind of goes into the limestone water table here.
Oh my
So,
god! Really?
Yeah, it's right underneath
Citrusy?
this area. Mm-hmm.
Is this where I get all my bath water from?
Yes, I guess. Look at the blueprints.
We just need,
Smash through floor.
We need to, figure out how to
Smash through floor.
smash the. Why,
Oh,
why is smash through?
or we can destruct things. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
falling through and
See?
smashing
That
things.
sounds,
is
it
your
sounds
thing.
like fun.
Why do
Angela's
you-
got a great idea.
Yeah, it's
That
true.
wasn't a great idea. That I was
I agree
mocking
with Angela.
that.
I agree with Angela.
Angela,
that we should
oh my
fantastic
God, are you
smash through
serious?
Hell yeah.
Let's totally
High five.
smash it.
We're gonna
She said
destroy
it.
the
She
house?
says it. It's all good. All right, we're going to take a quick break because Angela has a great idea. We're going to smash right
That
through this
wasn't a
floor
great
like she
idea.
asked us to, like she demanded.
I said
we'll be right
nothing.
back. You're listening to Fort Fritz.
You guys are idiots.
Welcome back to episode 41. I am Fritz. We are about to break into the flooring. It doesn't seem like a great idea.
Nope.
We need to stop the viral fungal growth of
Well,
these
I understand all that.
terrifying.
But this is solid concrete, and it doesn't seem like it's the best idea to drill into the foundation.
We're
No,
not-
No,
I
neither
don't
idea.
think so. With all the
No
sinkholes
drill
in Florida,
required.
I think this is a bad idea.
I just
I know.
watched Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Now, how is that movie?
You don't see many movies, do you?
Is it? It's a good movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, it's,
Hell
it's,
yeah.
it's, it's fairly decent.
I've seen
Hand me
it.
that big flagpole thing over there. Let me
You
get
got
that.
it.
Yeah, here we go.
Where'd that even
Whoa,
What are you
go?
doing with
watch
that
the
thing?
fan. There you go.
It's one of those, like, it's the thing that you use
Yeah.
like a velvet rope to keep other people out of
Whoa.
areas where they're
Yeah,
not,
nice.
like, where they're too poor to be.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got one of these things. I'm gonna smash through the floor. You ready?
With a
Yes,
big
awesome.
umbrella. You got it.
Got it. Here we go.
Do this to it.
You ready?
Yes.
Hey!
One more.
One more.
Hey!
Okay, now put your back into it.
All right. Hang on.
Wait, hold
Maybe
on. Take a couple steps back.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
maybe if I slam Mandaddy on the floor through the. He's capable of going through floors and walls and things. We can like.
Okay, what do you want me to do?
You just come over here and let me slam you into the ground so that we can get into the ant cave.
Oh, all right, he's ready.
I'm on. Let's do it.
All right, here we
Let's
go.
do this.
Mandaddy's walking
Hoist you
into
up
position.
onto my shoulder like some type of.
There we go.
Wow.
It's surprisingly light. Yeah, it's your.
oddly comfortable.
Your.
It's like a circus show.
He's
Okay.
rigid. I
feel like he's working on my back like a weird chiropractor.
He's a rigid man.
Angela, I have some popcorn if you want to share with me.
Absolutely. Oh,
Okay.
it's stale.
It's
Where
like one of
would
the
you get
it's like
this?
one of those like where you have to hit the bell to make the bell go up in the thing. Like
Yes, I am
Shawn
your
Man thing.
mallet. I am the mallet that you need. Smash through the wall.
Take a big
Smash
swig
through
of
the floor.
beer.
I
Clench
grabbed
your
a bowl
jaw.
of popcorn from the fridge.
Hurt.
All right, this
The
time we're going
fridge.
straight through one time.
Okay.
This is all.
It's
This
fine.
is back
gross.
muscle, back meat. I'm putting it all into this one.
You do it to it, buddy.
All right, here we go.
This is awful.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
Bad.
This is bad.
What's going on?
Why did I let him do this to me?
Wait, what are you guys doing?
Perfect. See, I told you.
Angela, let's drag Mandaddy out of the hole.
I told you.
Oh my god, is that asbestos? Oh my god.
He clenched his jaw. He did what he was supposed to do, and now we have the hole.
Hold on, let me walk in here.
Everything hurts. I'm dying.
A lot of cinder blocks, a lot of broken.
Just whatever. These look like.
Oh my god, look, there's a little stairwell. Hold on, let me walk down there. Oh, guys, I now have a torch.
Where'd you get that?
I found it.
There's a torch just sitting there lit.
Yeah, it looks like the entire. Oh my god, this is like a subterranean condo. You guys, there's a refrigerator
Ooh.
and lots of bugs. Lots of
Lots
bugs.
of bugs.
Bugs
Lots
fucking
of
everywhere.
bugs.
This is clearly where they're
Come on, follow me.
attracted to that big pile of what is that over there? What
It just looks like a corpse. It looks like it's.
it looks like
covered-
several
No.
corpses.
Whoa, that's a lot of corpses.
Oh.
That's a
They look
large
old,
number.
though.
Yeah,
They look
usually
like
more than one is a lot of
Gray
corpses.
and
Oh my god.
battered.
Yeah, those are
Hold on, let me.
battered like fried.
No,
me
like
s-
beaten.
Let me swing the torch to the left.
Hey, guys! Guys!
Oh, what is
That is the
I
most
have,
ghastly.
I have missed
fucking
you.
Who are you? Do you know us?
You guys don't remember me?
No.
For real?
What
No.
the fuck? You're a monster
It's-
covered in
Gore.
viscera.
Guys, this is my Uncle Frizz.
Shit.
Yeah, I've known him for a very, very long time.
Oh wait,
now.
yeah, no,
Did we lock him down here
He
like
was
a while ago?
Yeah,
No,
like-
I mean,
Oh,
we had that party.
no.
Remember? Oh shit!
So you guys know him?
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
I think so. Like vaguely remember.
Wait a
You've
minute.
been down here this whole time?
I specifically remember Mandaddy said he was coming back for me and just like
Oh
chill.
shit, that was you.
Frizz, why
was
are you?
you.
God.
Why,
Oh, man, that
why are
was
you?
so long ago.
Why are you chained to a bathroom door that's been obviously broken apart?
Oh God.
They told me I had to be the doorman. Like they wouldn't let me actually go to the party, but I thought I was helping.
Really, literally.
chained my uncle to the goddamn door? You thought that was a wise idea?
We didn't know.
Totally.
He didn't identify himself as your uncle.
Yeah,
he was
we didn't know at the time.
He was an imposter. He was
just
trying
a
to pass himself
dude.
off as you.
Yeah.
Frizz, what did I tell you about that? You got to introduce yourself to people.
I told him I was Frizz.
But this sounds like a fake name.
Yeah, that
Right.
doesn't
Definitely
make any
name.
sense.
You know that the last name is Fritz, right? Not Frizz.
No, come on.
You didn't know that?
No, it's Frizz, dude. I've been saying it my whole life.
There's a T
Shit.
in it.
Did you Americanize
All right,
it?
hold on. You can't check your back pocket, right? Because your arms are.
Well, right.
We'll
Of
take
course.
it
All right,
down.
hold on. I'm gonna grab your wallet, okay?
Don't chill.
Okay.
Like
We could just
That's okay.
we can unchain him.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean he is.
Okay, look,
Lot
check
of
it out.
blood.
Here's your wallet. Look at the last name. What does that say? Look at it. Look. What does that T say? What does that T say?
birth date.
No, that's Fritz. You're looking at the wrong. Right here. Right here. I'm tapping it. That.
Fritz.
You didn't know that,
That's who is that?
guys. This is my Uncle Tim Fritz.
What the hell,
Unbelievable.
man?
Get him. Unchain him, Kaz, for Christ's sake.
He's still covered in gore and
Well,
blood.
he
There's
seems-
a
but
bunch
he-
of zombies, and some of
This
them look
is
like they have teeth
not
marks in
fair.
them.
This
He
is
does seem pretty
terrible.
mild mannered though. I mean he hasn't like really. I mean he.
my God.
Did you?
Get
Also-
fucking arrested for this. Unchain him.
All right. Here we go.
Watch out for my
Okay,
ants.
I got
Those
it.
are your
ants?
ants?
Well,
Really?
What, are you controlling ants? What are you, a fungus?
like you guys left me down here, so like I had to start eating ants that came up near me. They were trying to eat me, so I had to eat them first, of course.
Huh?
Wasn't just gonna sit there and get eaten by ants.
How'd you
like
do
it.
that? Chained up? Did you just
I
fall
just
down? a lot?
I sung to them until they crawled into my mouth.
Like a hungry hippo type
Yeah.
situation, like a siren, but a hungry hippo.
and then
Hungry siren?
eventually, like we just kind of started working together. They started bringing me more stuff,
by stuff, what do you mean? Do you mean
Like records?
like
What-
things to eat.
Almost like they were like feeding like a sacrificial volcano.
Yeah, kind of, actually. That's actually a really apt description.
That's
Little
actually-
little tiny versions. Little
Okay,
tiny versions.
okay. Finally, you got the door off of you. Jesus Christ!
It
What's
feels good.
behind
My
the
shoulder,
door?
my shoulders really hurt.
What were you guarding
Probably
this whole
because you're
time?
chained up.
Yeah, it looks like you've got like some kind of shrine built around the door. How? You haven't moved in a very, very long time, have you?
No, it's been a while since that party. It was a good one though.
Okay, don't look. Don't.
was, right?
Whoa, wait a minute. You're kind of still like semi-grafted to
Got
that
some-
door.
Yeah.
Is that why I can't really like move that well?
You've got wobbly legs.
Ooh.
Do this with your arms. Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
and
that's
then do
good.
that with your arm.
Oh, that's
I don't-
good.
Okay.
You're
Just
creaking.
can you chain me back to the door?
No.
No.
Yes.
No.
Why do you want to guard this door?
I'm institutionalized now. This is where I belong.
Guys,
This is-
there's some. I'm looking behind this door. There's some type of river back here or something. Like
Another river?
I smell like ammonium or like
Ugh.
something.
Ammonium or
Ammonia.
ammonia or
Ammonium.
Ammonium AD. Do you smell? Do you have
Aluminium.
tummy troubles?
Aluminum. Well, you know,
Agamemnon.
the first emperor of China, when he died, he was actually taking mercury supplements because he thought it could cure him and he could live forever. When he died
From Mercury.
from mercury poisoning, correct?
Yeah,
Point.
I bet.
Oh, shocker!
When he was laid in rest, when he was entombed for centuries, they suspected that he had a mercury river constructed around his body.
That's a lot of mercury.
Yep. His name is Qin Shen Huang, and he actually was discovered with this tomb, and you can see it to this day. There is a mercury river around him.
Oh,
So,
weird.
if you're guarding any kind of like tomb, you got to tell us, man.
I mean, they just chained me to the door. Like the weird smell is like, I'm sorry, I've been up here a long time, but like I don't really know what's back here.
Well, let's get behind the door. Let's get behind the door. Let's stop. Let's stop pussyfooting around. Let's see what's behind this door. All right. So, if you could just subside there.
Somebody produce a
I'm
magical
I'm not
torch
really
again.
supposed. I was told to not really let anybody through this door.
Oh, look at all those delicious ants over there.
Oh, all right.
There we go. Okay. Let's just go behind this door, and oh my God,
These ants are great, huge.
holy hell!
Yeah, that's a river.
That's a river of Mercury.
Wow.
Listen to it. It purrs.
Look at this one.
Yeah, but I'm not going to pet it. It's probably not a good idea.
Would probably poison you with mercury.
I mean, I don't want to be. I'm no scholar, you know. I'm not a man of letters, but
Oh, come on. Give
it
yourself
does look
some credit.
vaguely Chinesey,
Yeah,
like a castle.
and I'm not liking any of this.
Why not? What,
Whoa.
like,
What was the name of the
I like-
dynasty you were talking about earlier?
It was the first dynasty. Yeah, the first emperor, Qin Shi Huang.
That's not good because you were talking about fungus that are like turn ants and stuff into zombies.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's like what's covered all over this guy's face over here.
It is pretty cool.
And
Look
you're
at that.
talking about the Qin dynasty,
Yeah.
and that is some of the origin of. Have you ever heard of the Jiangshi?
No.
No.
Have you ever heard of the hopping zombie?
No.
Oh,
Wait, that's a CW Stone King album, isn't it?
I think is it? It's like in the early catalog?
I don't think so.
points.
Now, the Jiangshi, or hopping zombie, is a legend that's been around since about the 1700s. They were first detailed in a book by Ji Xiaolin. I'm going to be totally butchering all of these, by the way. Sorry.
You don't, I mean,
Honky.
at this point, I don't
Just-
think you have to say that.
People
I think it's understood.
People
that I
know.
butcher
Well, no.
every other language
Well,
in
you-
English,
yeah,
and
people-
that I still butcher
It's understood that you're native to Florida and not.
painfully.
By the way, thank
China.
you so much for our listeners in the Philippines and Malaysia and China. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Because I'm about to offend you. Jin Xiaolin had a book entitled Yue Kaotang Biji. Or in English, and I love this, in English this book was called Random Notes at Cottage of Close Scrutiny. Random Notes at Cottage of Close Scrutiny.
It's like on Walden Pond, but like the,
Basically,
Oh,
but with
the like more
yeah.
stoned version.
Yeah, but more
Yes.
hopping zombies. Now, they can either be a freshly animated corpse or one that's been dead for some time, but for some reason didn't decompose. And they always seem to be dressed in the garb of the Qing dynasty,
Ooh, really?
which is why I'm a little worried about this little palatial estate we're staring at right now.
This is so creepy, by the
It's
way.
very cool. It's very Tomb Raider.
This is so creepy.
Now, due to rigor mortis, their bodies are completely stiff with their arms outstretched. Due to their stiffness, their only mode of transportation is hopping. So they just have their arms stretched out, they're completely stiff, and they just hop at you. They're just coming at you, hopping all the way.
I mean, that's a pretty sinister way to approach
Okay.
someone.
Yeah, it
for
really
sure.
is.
Super creepy.
It really is.
I'd be
Disturbing.
worried.
All
I'd be
right.
coming
worried.
at you.
It's also really, really creepy because this is actually from the first dynasty, and like it's a Mercury River. So this is really, really
Bad.
If they come hopping out of this Mercury, we're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I'll be hopping mad.
Hey.
Wow.
The hopping zombies, they feed on the key or the life force of living people to continue their wretched existence. But now, with the influence of American cinema and everything, a lot of legends say that they also feed on the blood of the living.
so QI.
The key, QI, the key. They can come into existence in a number of ways. They can be resurrected with the use of supernatural arts. If a person is not buried enough time, it can become angry. If a corpse is hit by a bolt of lightning, which can happen from time to time.
Sure. Jason lives points.
If a black or a pregnant cat jumps over a corpse, it could cause it to become a Jiangshi.
Well, yeah, for sure. No,
Hey,
definitely
duh.
I've heard
Duh.
that.
Wait, a black or pregnant
Or
cat?
pregnant.
Black
What
or
if it's a
pregnant cat.
black
Pregnant cat.
cat?
Oh, you don't want
Then
to know.
just you get super zombie.
Okay.
They just come back to life normal. Like, then,
They're like, whoa,
then
thanks.
that's just resurrection.
Some people should really patent this. This works great. Now, some believe the human body is governed by 3 huns and 7 pos. It is said that a person's hun is good, but his po is evil.
So Hun is spelled what?
H-U-N, and po is
H-U-N.
P-O.
P-O? Okay.
Yeah. So a person's hun is good, but his po is evil.
So does this date back to Legend of Zelda Ocarina
The
of
Pose.
Time, the Pose?
Oh,
Was that
wow.
P-O-E? Yes, I
POE.
guess. Yeah, maybe for
It's probably.
Edgar Allan Poe.
His hun is intelligent, but his po is foolish. The hun leaves the body after death, but the po remains and takes control. So that's how they say the Jiangshi comes out. Like zombies, if a person is injured by a Jiangshi, they can be infected by the Jiangshi virus and gradually turn into one, just like your classic zombies. Now, luckily, there are a number of ways to combat them. They are terrified of their own reflection. They are vulnerable to wood from a peach tree. A rooster's crow will scare them away, as it is a sign of sunrise, and they tend to hunt at night. These are some of my favorite things against them. Hooves from a black donkey, vinegar, glutinous rice, adzuki beans, the blood of a black dog, to scare, I guess, the spirit of the black cat, or a number of different symbols and talisman can be used to guard against the Jiangshi.
There is
Okay.
mad shit you can use against the Jiangshi.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's not just garlic
There's a
and silver,
list.
like
Yeah.
beans and sticky rice and like a good grocer would like be perfectly okay.
Yeah, just armed to the teeth with these
Just
guys.
own like a general store, you're good.
right.
Also, just shiny Christmas wrapping.
Right, exactly. This is what you look like. Get away from me. Hop on away from me.
Now, the legend of the Jiangshi was so prevalent that for a period of time, entry doors in Chinese homes would have a 6-inch tall plank of wood along the bottom to keep them from hopping into their houses.
Wait, could they not hop higher than 6
I
inches?
guess not. I guess it's
Would they
really
just like trip and fall?
yeah, they're just a little hop. It's not like the jumping zombies.
Ah, you fool!
It's like the paranormal equivalent of like a baby gate to make sure the zombies don't get in your house.
Basically.
Yeah, that's sick
Is
as
that how
fuck.
like the half doors happen? Like those Dutch doors that are like half open up the top? Just,
Yeah,
like,
that
keep
knocks
the
them
demons
over.
out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because all demons and mythological creatures do not know how to use doors, evidently. That's all it takes.
It's like a half wall. They go, well, I could probably jump up. Nah.
It's like vampires when you have to like invite them in.
Right.
It's like I can't get over the
I
threshold.
can't
You got to like
I
tell
can't
me I
shuffle
can come
across
in.
this, so I can't be a zombie in there.
Can we agree that that is one of the best story tropes, that you have to invite this entity in?
Yeah.
Like
That's cool.
every myth and every culture that has that in it, where like you have to kind of befriend something.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
always it always coincides with like the charming, beguiling demon thing, or
Glamour.
the thing that'll like be cool with you for a little bit and then eat you.
And also twist it on its head. You are in your home, which should be this sacred place, and then something is inside of your home that you don't
let it in.
Oh
That
God!
you let in.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's your fault.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Now, according to legend, when workers or soldiers would die far from home, their souls would be restless until they were properly buried in their homeland. To remedy this, a priest would take the corpse, turn it into a Jiangshi, and then they would lead the body home, walking in front, ringing a bell to warn the living that the dead were traveling home.
Wow.
There's a little corpse just hopping behind you, you know. Oh, no, it's okay. He's fine. He's fine. He's fine. He's with me. He's with me.
That's where the hopping zombie.
Yeah, and so these priests were called corpse drivers. And I know I've opened for them in Tampa. I
Yeah,
guarantee
you
I've opened for them in
absolutely
Tampa.
did. Yep.
But here's the interesting thing, is that this may actually have a basis in reality. Because during the Qing Dynasty, Their efforts to return the bodies of Chinese workers who died away from home so the spirits would not become homesick. The bodies would be lined up, standing upright, with a long bamboo pole under each arm. Then 2 men, one in front, one in back, would place the bamboo on their shoulders and carry the bodies home.
So they were like walking.
Because of the gait of the men and the flexibility of the bamboo, from a distance, it would look like a line of hopping corpses.
Oh, weird.
I thought it was they did the thing like the guys do with the one-man dance troupe where they have like dummies hooked up to the poles and they can like...
It's like that, but just much more rotting corpses and
just
stuff like
jangly
that.
corpses.
What's that game where it's like soccer, but you're just
Foosball.
spinning corpses
Foosball.
upside down?
Foosball, yeah.
Foosball.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
As they're marching, you just see shoes flying off
Whoa!
corpses.
I told you, no spins! No spins!
Where you
A
spin
wallet,
corpses
a
over and
wallet
over
comes
again.
out of some slacks.
Never
They're
describe
dockers.
I
Never
like
describe foosball as
I like
spinning
it.
corpses, but I like it.
That corpse spinny soccer game that
it's
everyone likes
fun.
to play
It's
at like
fun.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Spinning corpses is a great band name.
Yes.
It is.
Points.
See, I always
Fuck
wanted to
yeah.
have like a virtual reality game where you see someone playing like virtual reality tests and someone says virtual reality foosball and they strap on a thing and all of a sudden their arms get ripped off and a pole gets shoved through their chest. This sucks! So, while we're in the West, being accustomed to the slow, shambling zombies of Walking Dead or the hauling-ass victims of the Rage virus in 28 Days Later,
Yes.
in China, they live in fear of the Jiangshi or Hopping Zombie.
So, guys.
Yeah.
What?
So, not to like spread tales out of school or anything, but these ants have been telling me about some other stuff going on around here other than just this place.
What?
The ants have been...
The ants are
The ants are
telling
talking
you
to you.
Well, I mean, yeah, like
Is it like an
I've been
emotional
here
thing,
a
or are you
while,
actually
just-
hearing ant language?
They crawl into my ears and just kind of like directly communicate.
They like press on your eardrum and create sound? That's
It's fine,
That's
but they tell me
innovative.
they tell me things. Just
Okay,
I know.
go
things.
on.
So
It's okay. Relax. It's okay. You're so nervous.
You know,
Well,
I
I'm
really
sorry,
missed you
sure.
guys. I really missed you guys.
Atrophy. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that.
So you guys like follow me. Walk this way.
Ooh, I don't like the way he's walking.
It's almost...
He's
He's
not-
hopping.
He's hopping. He's
It's
hopping.
hopping. He's hopping.
He's slowly hopping.
He's hopping.
slowly hopping.
He's gray. He's covered in blood.
Blood.
There's corpses everywhere.
Yeah.
My legs are just stiff, guys. Chill.
All right. Come on, guys. Yep.
Wow, Fritz is really enjoying
Alright,
this. He's
yeah.
really living in the moment, this guy.
He's
No
doing
fun. Look at him go.
You know what? It's been a while
Kind of.
since I've seen you.
It's
It's
like
fine.
double Dutch. It's like
It's
double Dutch the way they're
a
going. It's
little
pretty amazing.
offensive, like he's making fun of him.
I don't
but
know.
I don't know. It's hard to tell.
He said to walk this way.
All right, let's just...
It's like a Mel Brooks thing.
All right, we're going to hop after this guy. He's going to take us, I guess, into some new area of the fort. So we're going to just hop along now, and we'll be right back. You're listening to Fort Fritz. Hi, welcome back to Fort Fritz. I'm Mandaddy. You got Fritz over here. We got Frizz over there. We got Angel over there.
Yep.
And we got Kaz over there.
Bring up the rear.
So we're exploring this new underground area of Fort Fritz. And, of course, we keep on finding more new and interesting places here.
I've got my shaky lantern going.
And we're just hopping behind Frizz here, which I'm still not convinced isn't a hopping Chinese zombie because looks like a zombie and he's hopping. But we decided to play with it, so we're just going to hop along
Sounds
and
like he's
follow.
from Alabama.
He definitely
definitely not
skips like a
Chinese.
little.
Yeah, he does skip. He also does a little crab walk every now and then.
Again, I was on that door a long time, guys. All right, just get going. So again, haven't been down here, been chained up on this door.
Yeah.
Thanks
there
to
you go. Yeah,
you
he's,
guys.
He's stretching the quads a little bit. There you go. Get
Nice
there
to see
you
you
go.
moving
Feeling
around
good.
a bit.
It's feeling
yeah.
good.
Sounds like someone's breaking celery. What does that sound?
He's
That's-
raising
Very
his arms up.
crunchy. Yeah.
And he's listening to pet sounds.
All right. So we're gonna head down this way.
Okay.
And keep going down this tunnel. It's apparently some sort of theme park. It looks like.
How many
Very-
theme parks do you have under this place? This is
Very,
amazing.
very morbid-looking theme. Mausoleums of the world.
Ooh.
That's what this is?
That's what it appears.
Oh,
We've
yeah, that
got-
would make
That's
sense
why
from
the
the
Qing,
the
the
Qing-
dynasty thing and the river and
All right.
everything.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
very
okay.
dark.
Yeah.
Christ.
All right.
Very
All
It's
right.
like Epcot of the Dead.
It looks like the
So,
White
like-
City from the Chicago World Fair. I mean, this is ridiculous. It's like...
Where's the wig sphere? Is there a wig sphere?
So let's keep going. We've got mausoleums from seemingly everywhere: Mexico, Russia.
Sounds about
Wow.
right.
And-
Wow.
Those are beautiful, but kind of not done.
Yeah, no, actually, those are the only two.
Oh,
Wait,
okay.
wait, no, there's another one over here, like half finished.
No, that's not. Yeah, that's not finished though.
barely.
I don't even,
It's at least
looks
partly done.
What is it?
There's rebar sticking out of the concrete and a half-finished foundation.
Look at you busting out with
Wow.
your construction knowledge over there.
Very, very impressive.
It smells very Guinnessy over here, though. I'm noticing like a strong.
Guinnessy.
Ooh,
Very
Hints of-
gamey.
What do you?
Hints of Guinness is nice.
There's like Celtic crosses and shit. This is clearly like an unfinished like Irish one,
Oh,
right?
no, Dad, Irish people. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
they're cool, right?
All right,
Wait.
Irish,
Have some
I
beer.
guess.
Can
this
you guys
is
shine the light over there? What is that?
It smells really pungent. Here we go.
Is there a stone in that corpse's mouth?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I mean,
no, it
yeah,
definitely looks
totally.
like it.
Yeah, totally stone in
In
that
addition to
corpse's
some
mouth.
petrified teeth.
Yeah, and an old pint of Guinness.
Yeah.
You guys, I really don't like this corpse here.
You don't like the corpse, or you don't like the stones inside of the corpse mouth?
We've seen plenty of
You're a
corpses.
corpsist. You're a
I am.
corpsist. You have a problem with this corpse.
Hey, easy.
Oh, I'm sorry, a little triggered.
I have a problem with the stones inside the corpse. Very, very intuitive of you, Fritz. Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you.
asking that
Thank you.
particular question. Do you guys know about the zombies of Ireland?
What?
Arr.
They come from everywhere these days. The zombies, right?
I know.
They're caravans.
There's so many different flavors of zombie now.
They're coming across.
I have not heard of these zombies.
Between 2005 and 2009, archaeologists working in Ireland dug up 2 8th century human skeletons that told a spooky story. The skeletons were exhumed at Kilchian, near Lochee, with stones stuck in their mouths. Not from a natural progression of the Earth's shifting, but intentional. Upon examining the remains, it seemed that this odd burial practice had something to do with the fear of zombies.
It's interesting to note that sometimes when bodies have been buried for millennia, in this case, you said 8th century?
8th century.
So that's the 700s.
The 700s.
Over time, there will be earthquakes in certain mountainous regions.
Correct.
So the idea that this was not something that just happened to fall into the mouths of these corpses, this was something almost like a fuck you.
Exactly.
Take
Very-
that, corpse.
Very intentional. Like, not just rocks falling into the skeleton. Something was absolutely shoved
Jammed
into.
in. So that they're
There's
like,
probably like scratches along the side that you could say there was forced instead
Correct.
of, you know.
Eesh.
The study originally began as a survey of medieval churches in the County Roscommon in like the central northwestern Ireland region, and then became the largest research excavation in Ireland.
Jeez.
The team of archaeologists was led by Chris Reed, head of applied archaeology at the Institute of Technology in Sligo, Ireland, and Thomas Finnan of the University of St. Louis. In that span of 4 years, of 2005 to 2009, a total of 137 skeletons were recovered by this team. The researchers believe that about 3,000 skeletons are still buried from 700 to 1400 that are still underground right now.
Wow.
The site have revealed traces from the Neolithic, Bronze Age, early and later medieval eras.
Old as hell.
Old as hell.
Children of the earth kind of
Yeah.
era. Like
Druids.
Old as fuck.
Druids.
so
Hashtag old AF.
Speak to the ants.
The ants have split off into one faction that just want to build a wall to keep the other ants out.
Of you?
I'm not sure yet. There's a lot of questions around the wall, funding, who's gonna pay for this and all that.
Sounds very divided.
Things have been rough lately.
These deviant burials, so we're talking about the 2 skeletons with stones in their mouths, were 2 men who were buried there at different times in the 700s. So they found like 137 skeletons, but 2 of them had these like stones like jammed in their jaws.
Only 2 out of all those.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a pretty good zombie percentage, I guess.
One man was between 40 and 60, they're not really sure, and the other a young adult around 20 or 30. They were both laid to rest side by side with baseball-sized rocks shoved into their mouths.
wow.
You gotta really push to get that damn thing in there. You ever try to bite a baseball?
Actually, no, but
You shouldn't.
Were these jaws? Thank you for that PSA.
The more you know.
Never bite baseballs.
Were the lower jaws disconnected
Or are they
from
snakes?
the skull?
They can unhinge the
yes,
jaw.
they were very mutilated. So this was not a very... I mean, obviously this was done after their death,
You hope.
but someone had some severe anger shoving these rocks in their mouths.
Yeah, it's like a curb stomping almost.
Jesus.
One of them was lying with his head looking straight up. A large black stone had been deliberately thrust into his mouth. The other had his head turned to the side and had an even larger stone wedged quite violently into his mouth so that his jaws were almost dislocated.
Oh my God.
So initially Reed, so this is Chris Need, one of the archaeologists, initially him and his colleagues thought that they had found a Black Death-related burial ground. Remains of individuals buried at the end of the Middle Ages with stones stuck in their mouths have hinted at vampire-slaying rituals. It was believed that these quote-unquote vampires, individuals, spread the plague by chewing on their shrouds after dying. In a time before germ theory, the stone in the mouth was then used as a disease-blocking trick.
Ah, so they couldn't chew.
Correct.
Oh.
The old stake through the heart kind of
Right.
thing. Like,
Oh, so yeah, they're like very
However-
primitive.
However, since the vampire phenomenon didn't emerge in European folklore till the 1500s, so mind you, these were bodies that were buried in the 700s.
yeah.
So folklore of the vampire didn't emerge till the 1500s. The archaeologists ruled out this theory for the 8th century skeletons. In this case, the stones in the mouth might have acted as a barrier to stop the revenants from coming back from their graves.
Okay, so this is a little close to home for you, I'm
Of course
guessing.
you would tell us about
Just a little
revenants,
close to
Angela.
home for you, isn't it, huh?
Maybe.
I'm afraid of you.
I don't know what you're talking
You
about.
should be.
Revenants, whatever
Yeah.
they are,
Yeah, who knows?
otherwise known as the Walking Dead, were usually seen as outsiders in society. As with two men with stones in their mouths, as they could have been seen as dangerous people, enemies, murderers, or rapists, or they could have been innocent people who died from a strange illness or murder. Anything outside of the norm could have excited some fear in the community, and they would come back to harass loved ones or take revenge against anyone who had wronged them.
We don't exactly know what's going on, right? So, if we were to let's just try just shoving rocks in this guy's face.
Yeah, it's so long ago. Let's just try anything. Okay, let's start with the rocks and move on.
I feel like
Start with the rocks.
The
Yeah.
punishment for a crime thing sounds most right to me, at least. Like ancient people are like, whatever, like fucking fuck you in the afterlife, and just rock in the mouth, and then they bury him.
Well, like,
There's
I don't know
Yeah.
why you wouldn't bury him anyway. Why go through the trouble of burying him if you're like let the fucking animals have him or throw him in the sea?
well, even now you see pictures and videos of thieves who get bullet holes through their left or right hand as a fuck you. Just
a final big fuck you with a rock baseball.
you don't need a lot of courage to humiliate or mutilate a corpse because
You just
these
need
were
the
all dead,
time.
correct,
Correct.
Angela?
Right size rock.
So it was just I have total control over you,
Right.
And
Take this. But only two specifically out of 130 something buried there. It's strange.
So it's interesting that you guys think of the rocks as like a punishment, because that is a good question. Like, why are there stones in their
Exactly.
mouth? Like, why that of all places? It was viewed as the main portal for the soul to leave the body upon death.
It was like a cork, basically. They corked
Yes. So sometimes the soul would come out,
Old cork.
the back of the body and reanimate it, or else an evil spirit could enter the body through the mouth and bring it back to life. So that was
so it's a
it was
blocker.
double. So your soul wouldn't leave your body, but also so that an evil entity
Couldn't
get
take it
in.
over. Ah, dual purpose.
So, honestly, this sounds kind of like, when the ants were bringing me stuff to put in my mouth, they were, like, always saying these weird things, like, take that, and chanting all this weird stuff.
Oh,
It
like-
sounds like it could have been like this.
like feeding you, like take
yeah,
that,
like,
take that, take that.
nourishing me and helping me.
I think they're saying, take that! Take that! I
Was it
think-
rocks? Were they putting
Yeah, were
rocks
they
inside
rocks?
of you?
What kind of
I don't know,
nutritional
it was
value
like-
is that?
It was small. Like,
Yeah.
often it hurt my stomach, whatever they were putting in there, but
rocks.
I didn't... Honestly,
Like
didn't have
little-
much of a choice.
Little tiny ant rocks. Little tiny ant
We've
rocks.
subjected you to a terrible, terrible existence.
very
I
sorry about
apologize.
that.
This
I
is
really-
like I feel guilty.
I'm still
I
okay with
actually
it.
feel bad.
He's like
I'm feeling all right.
Yeah, see? Not so bad.
This is nothing for him.
He's been out here for so many months. He hasn't been on Facebook forever. He's doing way better than anybody. He's doing way better than anybody. He's so detached. He's like cut the cable. He's off social media, man. He's living real. He's being real with his
Do you even
ants.
know who the president is?
It's definitely still George Bush, right?
Oh man, we got to talk later.
Yeah, we've got a story for you.
So
buddy.
is the secret to life just to like get off Facebook and eat rocks?
To have
Yeah.
ants feed you rocks.
Yeah,
Ants feed you
got
rocks. That's the
without
main
the ants, the
difference.
whole formula does
An
not work.
attempt to clog
Okay.
your soul into your body.
According to Christina Kilgrove, a biological anthropologist at the University of North Carolina, the burials dating is particularly interesting as it appears to predate historical records on revenants.
Interesting.
She was also intrigued by the fact that the two males were not buried at the same time. However, they were buried side by side.
So
There was a specific place to put these type of people?
Exactly. So
The rock mouths.
it's a non-traditional manner, which suggests that these burials were not accidental or careless. There was an intention on having a specific plot for these potential walking dead. And Ireland isn't the only place where these types of burials have been discovered. Similar kinds of mutilations to dead bodies have been found in a deserted village called Warren Percy in North Yorkshire, England. Analysis of the bones dating from the 11th to the 14th centuries show that they appear to have been burnt and mutilated. Theories suggesting that the remains were cannibalized by starving villagers were debunked.
Oh, God, thank God.
At least that.
At least that. And again, it was discovered that these practices were aimed at stopping corpses from rising up from their graves and menacing the living.
So it's happened before. They're like, okay, we need to stop this from happening.
This is happening in multiple places.
Let's just try to stop all that. Anybody got any rocks?
I mean, if you think about it, this is medieval times, right?
Right.
And
You
you
mean the
have
place
like,
where the people fight and you get the cheap food? Medieval times?
yeah, and there's a hawk and a falcon that flies
that
around,
place
and
is
you
fun.
get like Pepsi. It's great. So
A grog of Pepsi.
I've been there multiple times. So Ireland and England are two separate islands.
Painfully, obviously.
I mean, not super far.
No,
but they're separate.
they hate one another. God, they hate one
They
another.
really do.
They really do.
And there's like two separate regions in which these practices are happening. So that is super creepy.
It's across the board.
Yeah.
Even your enemies can have revenants coming out of the grave, and you should feel bad for them. So give your enemies rocks to stuff in the face of your revenants.
So
That's the ultimate fuck up. Like,
Yeah,
I
it
don't
is.
want your soul to go to Nirvana.
Yeah, like you're
or
dead
Valhalla.
and I'm still controlling your life right now.
Just lay there.
Many bones had knife marks suggesting that the corpses had been decapitated and dismembered. While there was also evidence of burning body parts and deliberate breaking of bones after death. So people were actually just mutilating dead bodies so that they wouldn't come back. Folklore in the Middle Ages suggested people could sometimes rise from the dead, roam their local area, spread disease, and violently assault those who encountered them. The undead were commonly thought to be the result of a lingering malevolent life force in individuals who had committed evil deeds or caused animosity when they were alive.
Like an unavenged spirit.
Correct.
Oh, God.
So either they were just a nasty person who had died, and obviously they were already just a terrible person, or something terrible had happened to them, and they just needed to come back and act on their revenge.
That is super
awesome.
spooky.
What's great to think about is that because there's so much of our modern horror mythology and everything is based on ancient myths and everything. Maybe this stuff all did happen, but all the cures just eventually worked.
Yeah.
You know, oh yeah, you know, putting the stones in the mouth. Oh, totally got rid of them. Oh yeah, no, there are totally revenants everywhere. Stones in the mouth. You haven't tried that? It works.
We've absolutely cured things in our lifetime.
Right, and so that shit
sure,
might have happened, and then
maybe
the
it
stakes in
worked.
the heart. It's like, oh my god, just stake in the heart. No more vampires. This shit works.
The copy editor back in like the 7th century was like, all right, print it. That's great.
And of course, there had to be someone back then going, you know what? I'm not going to put stones in the mouth of my parents because I heard that that's not good. Everybody's like, dude, put the stones in the mouth of your parents. Would you do that? No, I read a blog that said that's just not a good idea. And then it's like, that's how you get more revenants.
Anti-stoners?
Yeah, I hate these anti-stoners, man. In real life, too.
Awesome. You read my blog?
Wait, that was you?
Yeah, dude. Like stonescauseautism.com.
Man. I'm amazed that was actually available.
Yeah, no, I had to pay a lot for that, but it was definitely worth it.
You had to buy it off of Goop.
He seems to have his footing now. Look at him. He's getting
limbered up.
he's
The
a
mention
little-
in the blog
feeling
perks him
better.
up. Yeah, for sure. Seems like he got a sense of purpose.
So, I mean, now that we've been down here, we've checked out this decrepitated, like, place of worship of the dead. What's your plans for us?
Well, guys, we walked pretty far down these crypts. I have these kayaks over here. They're fiberglass.
I'm so tired.
I think they can totally go this Mercury River.
I was
I
going to
don't
wonder
think
what
there's-
floats on Mercury is.
Yeah.
Fiberglass will do it.
think
Yeah, they can-
fiberglass will kind of work, and it's flowing that way anyway. So I think we'll
Okay,
work out
well, let's
for it.
hop on.
Let's,
Do you guys know how to use kayaks?
Nope,
No.
do
You'll
not.
figure it out.
Pretty sure
Just-
we're all going
Wait,
to
hold
die.
on. Can I get on my own? I don't know if I'm going to fit on top of these guys.
Yeah, go for it, Fritz. Here you go.
Awesome.
There you go. Why don't you just lay on your back and we'll drag you behind our kayak.
All right,
that's
someone
even better.
catch
Like a
him.
tube?
Catch him.
Yeah.
He's going.
Yeah, like a
this is
tube.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's-
Yeah, go sit in the
Just
tube.
stretch out, lay back, relax, take a deep breath, smell the mercury.
I love
It's
it.
good,
Splash it
isn't
around,
it?
right?
Yeah, let's start paddling down. I guess we're gonna.
Go wherever this leads.
Yeah, I guess that's what we're gonna do. I'm pretty sure cancer and death is where.
I mean, like
something
that's
like
generally
that.
that's going to happen anyway. Like,
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, guys. So make sure you're sitting down. Let's keep going. We're gonna go down this way. We're gonna keep left at the first fork.
Always left.
Trust me. Do not go right
Yeah,
at the fork.
trust me, we don't. It's not a good
It's
idea.
okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna go left, and then we're gonna go right. We're actually gonna make 2 rights.
that'll
then
pull
keep
us back
going
around.
left.
Yeah.
No, don't worry. Yeah, have you been down this Mercury River?
No, thank God.
No.
Okay. I was hoping you had, but so 2 rights and then a left. All right. So after that last left, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Langoliers, but we're going to go into like a Langoliers type dimension.
Ooh,
movie was
and when we
terrible.
do, like,
I like
things
it.
are going to be bad.
This is while we're floating on Mercury. What could go wrong?
Wasn't Stanley
I mean,
Toomey?
a lot went wrong in The Langoliers if you've never seen it.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot.
Jimmy Dean was in that one too.
So we
You
have
need
a
sausage?
Jimmy
pretty,
Smith.
Was that the guy from Green Mile? There was a guy from Green Mile in there.
It was Jimmy Smith and Jimmy Dean. I always get those confused.
Jimmy Smith.
Jimmy Dean is a sausage.
Right.
Jimmy Smith is an actor.
He's the who looks like a
Who looks
sausage.
like
Who's the Sons of Anarchy?
He does
and
look
Star
surprisingly like he
Wars.
could be sausage based.
He's like a breakfast link.
Wow. All right. Anyone kayak before? Anyone?
Oh no.
No. Fritz, do not. No, Fritz. You.
Me?
That
Oh.
I've known for a
Damn it.
longer time than this fool. Yeah.
Why did I learn the letter T?
Can you not? It's not a paddleboard. Can you please slowly?
Yeah.
Can you please slowly sit down?
Yeah.
Slowly.
Careful.
Okay.
If you fall in this mercury, you will be poisoned. Have you heard of Mad Hatter's disease?
Oh shit!
Have you heard of it? Yeah. That's
I
what
think that
this
may
is.
actually level him out when you think about
Yeah.
it.
Right?
Okay, you're fine.
Right, yeah.
Man,
Gotta be
Daddy.
careful. What?
Man, Daddy.
What?
What are you doing?
Being terrified for my life. And you?
You just washed your hands in the river.
Yeah, I know, because I just got, some
Yeah, I
smuts
know
on-
you
yeah.
wanted to open up your natty
Ooh.
light, but don't wash your
Oh,
hands.
just look how it flows to my hand. It looks so trippy.
It was like a
Yeah,
raccoon.
it's
It's so cool. It's
yeah, it's
squishy.
real, get your hand out of the river,
It looks so tasty.
guys. Like I cannot stress enough that this is fucking Mercury.
It's interesting that this is like scaring her so much. Of all the things that like have been
Wait.
completely not. Is this what could kill her?
It's a crypt. Oh, my God. Everyone act normal. Everyone act normal. If we whisper, she can't hear us.
Like she can't.
No,
I
she totally can't.
Can
Listen,
fucking hear
We're in
you.
a kayak. It's not that big.
Yeah.
Damn it. Okay, we weren't talking about anything. We were just saying how happy we were to be on these kayaks with you, Angela.
I don't know why you guys were whispering at her. Like,
We're definitely.
You definitely whispered at me.
Tim and I were over here. It seems counterintuitive.
Man, Daddy,
Yes.
can you just take us out of here, please? Thanks.
Okay, well, I
now
guess
he's paddling.
down the Mercury River, people. That's what this is our life now. Evidently, we're just going to be with this
Remember, left at the first fork.
this
Oh,
this
Fritz.
revenant and this hopping zombie, and we're just going to lazily
Man, Daddy,
paddle.
Give me some. Come on. There you go.
You don't. Oh my.
Oh, paddling down the Mercury River.
That's beautiful.
Down the Mercury River.
Did you guys drink
Wow.
this shit?
Down the Mercury River. Paddling down the Mercury River.
This is my absolute nightmare.
Down the Mercury River. Paddling 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 down the Mercury
You
River.
guys are
Wait, did we miss a turn?
gonna die. What?
You're listening to Fort Fritz. Have you ever wanted to bite a baseball? Well, don't. The more you know. This has been a Fort Fritz PSA.
Never bite baseballs.